Hi, I've been asked to talk to you about this portrait of Bernard Looney. He's the CEO of BP, and he didn't ask me to paint paint the portrait, um, and I'm not sure he entirely likes it. But he was very gracious about it, and he did actually contact me, and after I finished the painting and talked about BP's hopes to go carbon neutral in the future and to be a greener company. So cool things came of it, I guess. Um, but the portrait was really an exercise in I wanted to see how not only making my own pigments, but could you paint a portrait using pollution? So a bit of an environmental statement, I guess. The It might be best actually if I just talk you through some of the pigments that are in it. Um, so the blue is a black, because black is essentially blue. It's not really black. If you put white in it, you'll soon see it goes blue. The blue is made from the soot from a BSA Bantam exhaust from my brother-in-law's motorcycle. Um, the brown is a mixture of iron oxide that I think I bought from a health food company on eBay, which is a naturally occurring iron oxide, and rust from that was scraped and ground up from my barbecue. Yeah, did that, which is why it's a bit gritty actually. And so you got blue, brown, and red. Yellow was another naturally occurring iron oxide. Couldn't make that on that easily, but that is actually again it's a rust effectively. Um, and so you've got blue, red, and brown, which is rust. So I'm trying to work my way through them. And white. White was titanium dioxide. I couldn't make a white from pollution. But the interesting thing is, perhaps interesting, I think it was to me anyway, is that they're bound not in linseed oil like traditional oil paints, but in motor oil from a friend's car, which I can't actually easily display that to you right now, but he is actually slightly iridescent. So if you tip him sideways, you can see like the effect you get on water when there's oil in the puddle, which is pretty cool. What's not so cool is that he may well never actually completely dry, even though he's painted with a lot of oxides, which are naturally fast drying paints, like your umbers and burnt and raw umber and burnt umber. Even with those sort of natural dryers in the paints, the motor oil is designed to never dry. So this is why he's probably going to it's going to probably remain sort of slightly greasy for the rest of his life. But anyway, that's just a short explanation of how he's painted. Why he was painted really was a sort of also a bit of a comment on BP being the sponsor of the biggest British international, I guess it's an international competition for portraiture, and a lot of artists are a little uncomfortable about a petroleum company sponsoring a portrait award, and it wasn't a dig at BP. It was just really a look, really. Can we, as artists, are we doing things differently? Can we actually look at ourselves and say that we're doing all we can for the environment? Because oil paintings are pretty unenvironmentally friendly profession, really. And we use solvents. We use a lot of toxic minerals in some of the paints that we use. And I just wanted to look at what are we doing, and is there perhaps a different way of doing things? It's kind of just a challenge, really, a challenge to me, and maybe a challenge to all of us to think about our practices as artists. And since then, actually doing this, apart from the really cool thing of Bernard actually talking to me and chatting about how he liked the painting, and I'm not sure he liked him, but his way I painted him, because he does look a bit stiff. He's actually not that stiff in real life. But it was quite cool that he wanted to talk to me about BP. and he felt that he found the painting challenging, which was a real shocker to me. I was like, wow, I just painted you, man. I didn't expect you to sort of to contact me. You're the CEO of BP. So that was cool. But since then, I've also found that there are guys like John Sabrall and some Jackson's also working on. Just brought out pigment that's made from the ashes of war zones and so forth. And John Sabrall is a guy who's been cleaning up rivers in America and using the pollution that is taken out of the river to clean the river. He's used it to turn into a natural oxide paint, so red and yellow. And he's using he's cleaning up the environment at the same time he's producing paint, so you can make beautiful things with it. And I felt that was really interesting. And so this is just a portrait of a guy, really. But portraiture can be used to think about all sorts of different things: the environment, our well-being, all sorts of different things. And this was just one example of looking at the environment and looking at artistic practice. So there you go.